What's the difference between the people who's maybe started around the same time as you, who are nowhere near where you are in commissions, and you? Thank you for telling me to F off. You have a fantastic day too.
It's just one person. I'm not going to let one call or one person determine how much money I'm going to make or how many people whose lives I can change.
What gave you the gumption, the audacity to do that?
My sales manager, if you're watching this, brother, don't be mad at me, but he wasn't quite happy that I was.
Woo! I'm so excited. I'm so hype. I just came off of like filming a mindset thing, so I feel like I'm in the perfect headspace for this conversation with Gavin, who is one of the top setters that I've ever known at this point. But yeah, one of my top setter students, and I'm fired up to help other setters get some sauce because yeah, every setter who's interacted with you is just like, holy crap, like they're really impressed by the conversations that you have, like when you're role playing, but also just like when you talk about sales and stuff. So, Gavin, can you give a quick little introduction for those who have no idea who you are?
Yeah, for sure. 23 years old, almost. I'm not 23 yet. I will be 23 in November this year. And I am from Sri Lanka. And I have been in high ticket sales for around an year now. I started as a closer. That was my first gig. I did not know anything about sales, nothing. Just one day I was scrolling through my inbox and then I get an email from someone. I don't know how they got my email, but it was like, hey, do you want to close for us? I was like, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, that's how I got into sales. And then I got into setting, and then I found out that I was a better setter than a better closer. So I was like, hey, I need to become a setter. So yeah, that's how I got started. There's more to it, but that's just a brief introduction.
Yeah, you can't even say that you were better setter than maybe at the time you were better setter than closer, but now you can't even say that anymore because you've literally closed deals, and I'm excited to get into that as well. A lot of people are interested to know how how to make that transition setting to closing. So right now you're like in the interim, right, where you're basically doing both. But okay, I want to get into how you got started a little bit more because what were you doing exactly before you actually got into sales? Like what were you doing for work?
Well, it all started when COVID hit, right? I was still in school. I was trying to help my family out because we were financially not doing well. And I saw that my family was struggling, so I just wanted to help out. So I got on my laptop. I was looking for typing jobs because that's all I could do. My English wasn't that good, because I'm not from an English speaking country, obviously. So and then I came across this $7 course. It's funny because come across this course, I'm like,
Yeah.
Dad, it's $7. Can you afford that? And he was like, let me check. He checks his bank account. He's like, $7. Okay, I can do that. So I get the $7 course, and after a couple of days of implementing whatever was said in that, so basically it was regarding affiliate marketing, right? So after doing that course for a couple of days, I figured I couldn't do it because I was from Sri Lanka and I was not able to register for that particular website that he wanted me to. And I reached out to him. I was like, dude, this is not gonna work out for me, so I need a refund. So crazy, but he actually gave me a refund because I couldn't do it. But that's exactly how I got started, and I started networking with people. I didn't know how to do it. No one taught me anything. My parents weren't educated in this sector specifically, and I didn't have so much support from them because they always told me it's very hard. Only my brother, I literally remember when I got started, he told me only 3% of people succeed in this industry. I was like, let me show you.
Wow.
So I didn't,
Wow.
yeah, I didn't have any support from my family whatsoever. Um, there is like a really long story, but I'll just keep it very brief, right? So I start connecting with people. I start reaching out to people. I'm like, hey, this is Gav from Sri Lanka. I'm 17 years old. I'm open to do anything. If you guys got any work for me, I'm happy to work for you guys. So I was just reaching to hundreds and thousands of people, but instead of getting help, I was always getting pitched. And I was just a 17-year-old kid trying to make money. So I was like, well, because I was broke, I didn't fall for them. because I didn't have any
Yeah.
money, right? So I was like, guys, I'm sorry, I don't have any money. So
Mm.
I tried affiliate marketing, I tried drop shipping, I tried lots of things. It didn't work out. So basically, how the transition happened was, for 8 months, I worked for 10 to 15 days every single day for 8 months and made zero money. That was in 2020.
Whoa.
And then in
Wait,
2021,
wait,
yeah,
wait. That's a long time to make nothing. 8 months. Was that in
yeah,
sales?
that was in affiliate marketing.
Oh,
I
that was
first
the
learned,
affiliate marketing. Okay.
yeah,
That kind of makes more sense now. You didn't make
yeah,
a dollar for 8 months. So you worked for 8 months, didn't do anything. Most people would have quit, by the way. You know that. Like, there's
yeah.
people in sales who 2 months in, they're like, no, I haven't hit 10K. I'm done. I'm just like, never gonna make it, kid. But so okay, so what happened after that?
So after 8 months, I was like, I have a choice. I could either give up or I could keep trying. But the thing was, I had only one option. I could not give up because I had my family to look after, and I knew that my dad's health was declining. It's always been on the decline. He's a heart patient. So, like I mentioned before in our coaching call, if he passes tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. Of course, it's going to be hard because he is my hero and I look up to him. But it's not going to be a surprise because, it's been long. And even I think back in 2014 there was a doctor who was like, he's only going to live for the next 6 months, so take good care of him. 11 years later he's still here. So yeah, I had no choice, so I just wanted to keep going. And then my first breakthrough came in 2021. I think it was in January, where I reached out to someone and we just started talking. It wasn't meant to be a sales conversation. I just reached out to them because she was like a really good writer, and I really liked her posts on Facebook. So we had a chat. She had a son named Gavin as well, so we had a really good chat. And she was like, what was I doing? And I'm like, trying to find a job, trying to make money online. And she's like, I have a marketing agency and I need someone to write blogs, content writing basically. And at this point, I was really good with writing because I used to read books since I was a kid, since I was like 9 years old. Well, younger than that, but when I was 9, I started reading um, as a habit, right? I started reading Famous Five, Secret Seven, books by Enid Blyton, a big fan. So, yeah, I was really good with my written communication. So I was like, hey, let me do it. So I she gave me 4 blogs to write. It was $25 each. So that's how I made my first $100 online. And I got my first phone because my parents didn't ever allow me to have a smartphone. I couldn't even touch my dad's smartphone. He would, like, he allowed at me, not because he was mad, but because he didn't want me to, you know, discover the dark side of using a smartphone as a kid, which I really appreciate. Now I understand why he didn't want me to do that, but he never let me even touch that. So it's funny because they did not want me to make money online, but at the same time. So one day, I get the job and I need to do it, but it was my dad's phone, right? So I couldn't access their phone. So my parents were sleeping. I snuck into their bedroom. I took the phone. I did the 4 blog posts. I sent it over to Michaela, and I just kept the phone. And I got paid $100. And I was like, guys, I got paid $100. And they were like, how did you do that? And I was like, well, I snuck into the room, obviously. I got that done, and they were happy. And that's like when they started believing in me, I guess. So I got my first phone, and then I had like a crappy laptop for $40 somewhere. So it was a Chromebook. But
Yeah.
I still did get some work done with that, so that was good. And then I met my good friend from Texas. His name is Joseph. He was really nice. He actually sent me a MacBook Air, the latest one. So that really changed everything for me. So I started writing content for Michaela, and I was working with her. I was doing video editing, whatever made me money. I would just do that. And then I met someone, I can't remember how. Oh yeah, through one of the Facebook groups, and she said she got into sales and she was making good money. So I was curious how that happened, right? So yeah, I wanted to check it out. I checked it out. It was good. But one thing, I was super introverted. I didn't want to jump on the camera and talk to people. That was like my worst nightmare. So I was like, well, I need to find a way, right? So I bought a program. It didn't work out for me, but basically that's how I got into sales through that one
Wow.
friend of mine. And yeah, it was once I really understood what sales was, I was like, dude, this is exactly what I've been looking all my life, because I see sales
What?
as an opportunity to help people and bring about a transformation in their lives, because I've always, had to go through so much. And as kids, there were days that we didn't have food to eat. So it was like, I came from like from nothing, literally from nothing.
Literally.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so I always wanted to change someone else's life, someone in my situation, because I know how hard it is to go for days without food. And we were like, crying. We were praying literally empty plates. We were like crying and praying to God to give us food. So it's crazy. Um, so I jump into sales, and then that's basically how I got into sales in the first
Yeah.
place.
I want to highlight something in your story. It's like you really hustled, like really had to hustle.
Yeah.
And there's so many people who come in and they're like, they had a computer since they were like 5 years old, and they come in and there are people who started the same time you did, who are nowhere near even making even 5K a month in commissions. What's the difference between the people who's maybe started around the same time as you, who are nowhere near where you are in commissions, and you?
I would say it's always the why. Your why
Mm-hmm.
has to be so big and so huge that your only option is to fulfill it or reach that goal that you have set for yourself. Because if you have option B, which is to give up, then might as well give up than not doing anything, right? So just give up, like don't do it. But if you just have one option, which is to hustle and grind and work in the trenches to make it happen, then I guess, there's nothing that's going to stop you. If you don't have an internet connection, if you don't have a phone, you will make it happen. You will try and you will make it happen. So yeah, that's how what I would say is the difference. And
Mm-hmm.
also, when you have so much weight on your shoulders, when you feel that, when you feel the pressure, when you feel the tension where, my parents couldn't pay the bills, or they were always kind of like, you know, not sure what to do next, like what to eat tomorrow. That was the situation, right? And I was like, guys, how can I help? And they're like, well, you can't help because you're just still a kid. But I was always like, I need to help. Like I need to. It's just I can't sit back and watch my parents struggle so much. On one hand, my dad was sick. On the other hand, my mom was trying to raise a couple of guys. It's not easy to raise up boys, right? We were always fighting,
Yeah.
and it's crazy. I have an elder brother, by the way. So, excuse me. So, both my parents were struggling, and I just wanted to help them. And in my mind, I just had one goal, and I told myself I will never relax or sit back until I hit that. Maybe I might have some setbacks, but that doesn't mean I'm going to give up. So, I would say, mindset has to be super strong, and you need to have the belief. You need to have people supporting you, which at first I did not have, but that did not stop me from, getting to where I am today.
Yeah, I love that you said the why, because that's really is the thing. Because wanting to make money, wanting to make 10K a month is not enough.
Yeah.
Like, it's not, because people, I'm not going to name people, but I can think of 5 people off the top of my head who want to make money. And I've sent them applications for different offers, different recruiters. 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. They still never sent application or filmed a video. Why? I'm too nervous to film a video. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and that's because they have first world problems. They've had, the tech their whole life. They have a car, they have the opportunity to do Uber Eats and DoorDash and all these different, they have so many options to make money. And so they're caressing and coddling their fear. And so it's just like, this is why I always say, especially to people in the inner circle, I say, stop letting people in third world countries out hustle you. Like, this is embarrassing. Truly. It's not to say that fear and anxiety aren't real. Of course they're real, but it's like it's just sometimes it just means it just takes just doing the thing. And sales is an industry in and of itself that's super can be scary and cause a lot of anxiety because you're getting rejected every single day, especially as a setter. I'm curious for you, what was the hardest part when you got into sales? Because you said it was everything you always hoped it would, like you dreamed of. I'm just like, what? Who says that about sales? Like, even I didn't feel like it was like, oh, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Like, no, I was like, this is horrible. I want to quit. So, what was the hardest part for you?
Hardest part, I would say, was finding the right opportunity, the right offer, because there were so many offers where the offer owners were like, hey, this is what we do. And on the outside, it looked really beautiful. It sounded like they were helping people. But once I joined them, that's when I saw the true face or what was actually going on. And I was like, guys, I can't do this because it's not ethical or you guys are not helping people. And there were a couple of times I had to walk away from offers, even though I was making good money. So, so that was like a big thing for me. I was in every single interview I've had, I would always mention this because I would say, guys, look, I don't care how much money I'm going to make. It's just that I have to be able to, if I buy this product, I should know in my heart that it's going to change my life. So when I sell this to someone, I need to have enough integrity and conviction in myself, first of all, before I can sell that to you. If not, I don't want to be part of this. I don't care how much money I'm going to make. You guys could, promise me 10 grand a month easy, but I would rather stick with an offer that's going to make me 2K per month if that helps me to actually transform someone else's life. Because for me, the money is just a byproduct of me helping people transform their lives. So, of course, I want to make money. I'm not saying I don't want to. I like making money. It gives me the, what's that called? The adrenaline. It helps me to stay on top and, keep crushing every day. But at the same time, my focus is not the money, but rather how can I help this individual bring about a transformation in their life.
I want to highlight that because this is actually exactly what I just filmed something about. I just filmed a video about that, about how the fundamental principle to build wealth is to show up for other people, period. Show up for other people. But you could say before yourself. It's so cool because you didn't even know that I just filmed that. And this is how you think. This is who you are. And this is why you are the person who gets so many yeses on your calls. This is a big reason why you're a setter, but you're still able to close people because they can feel in your energy that you actually are looking out for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
400%.
Yeah. Really want to highlight that because a lot of people, especially new people in sales, I know because you're a setter, a lot of new people will listen to this episode. New people in sales are so focused on me. They go to interviews. What is my commission structure going to look like? How much am I going to make? Is there a base pay? Oh, there's no base pay. I have zero experience, but I won't take this because there's no base pay. Like, F off. Like, but it's just the wrong mindset. It gets so mad. But anyway, it's the wrong mindset, and you have the right mindset. And I didn't even have to teach you that. Like, I'm not taking credit for that. I didn't teach you that. That's just who you are. And that is why you're so successful. Like, helping you with a framework and good questions to ask. Sure, that's good too. But like, it starts with being the person first,
Yeah.
So you said the hardest part was finding a good offer. And it sounds like, and what you said is really a gem for vetting offers is to go in, put your cards on the table. I don't care about how much money I make. So I really want to highlight that so people can do that too when they're vetting offers, because the wrong kind of offer actually won't accept you if you're not money hungry. Did you know that?
Oh, not really.
There are certain offers. Okay. So there are certain offers where if you're not super driven by money, you're disqualified. And those are the same kinds of offers. And I know this from working very closely with recruiters and managers and helping people hire. Those are the offers that have a super high turnover rate. Why? Because that's their culture. They're looking for people who are driven by money. So they attract people who are driven by money. And so those people bounce as soon as they found a better opportunity. Right. Or the other thing too is that the managers tend to be on the sleazy side, like just greasy. And so it just doesn't attract the best kind of people. And so, yeah, you have the best like heart posture as far as like this is why you have an abundance of offers. You're on 3 offers, right? So abundance. Meanwhile, some can't even land one. So I'm curious, before we move on to the other thing, do you have any other advice for sales reps, especially brand new ones who are struggling to land a good offer?
Um, don't look for offers in Facebook groups.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's like maybe back in 2022, Facebook groups were like genuine. It was like, we're all here to help each other. And it's like, but now, no, it's just scammy and spammy. It's just people who want to pitch you and say, hey, if you want a job, I'll get you a job for $3,000. Like, it's just crap, garbage. Okay, guys, PSA, don't ever pay for a job. It won't even be a good offer. So you're going to get bamboozled, like double bamboozled.
Yeah, 100%.
So with appointment setting, especially doing outbound dialing, with that being such a high rejection thing, how do you actually mentally prepare before you jump into conversations each day? And I also have questions from Facebook as well that people have for you. So but go ahead.
Okay, sounds good. Um, First of all, my first setting role was cold calling, and that was part of a hedge fund. So essentially, I was calling high net worth individuals. The first the closing offer that I had, it turned bad because basically the clients would come back to me and they were like, "F you, Gavin, you promised us this, but they're not providing or they're not delivering as you promised." So I was like, "Guys, what's going on?" This person came back to me and they were like, "Oh, it's nothing. We can fix that." This went for about a couple of weeks, and finally, I was making good money. It was $900 per sale, good money, right? And I was struggling at that time as well, because I had lost my content writing job, which is why I was looking for something else. And then I came across this email, right? So the guys were like, "Oh, we're looking into it, blah blah blah." Nothing happened. I walked away. I was like, "Look, guys, this is nice, but it's not gonna work out." And then the guy I was working with, he had another guy who was looking for a setter. So the guy that I was working with, he was trying to make money off of me because he wanted me to work for the other guy, and from every deal that I closed for that guy, this guy would get a cut. So he was trying to, get some money using me. So what I did was, it was super toxic. I joined the new company, the hedge fund. Long story short, it didn't end up well. But again, I was cold calling people in the UK from day one. They just put me on the offer. They were like, "Go start dialing." The guy, the owner of the hedge fund, he's like super straightforward. He was like, "You don't need to know anything. Just go in there, ask a couple of questions, and if they have more questions, set up a call with us." So that's exactly what I did from day one. I was just put into the deep end. I didn't know what was going on. I was just calling people. I was getting rejected left and right, and that's where I really think I began to get like mentally tough. So whenever someone told me no, they're not interested, or to like go F myself, I would be happy. I would be laughing. I would be smiling to myself,
Good.
right?
Yes. This is the
So
spirit of a cold caller. Yes.
yeah.
Like, thank you for telling me to F off. You have a fantastic day too.
Yeah,
That's great.
exactly.
Like, is that just how you've always been, or did you have to
Oh no,
like
no.
meditate? Like, how did you get there?
Um, I would say, I should have mentioned this early, but I would say, God has always been a big part of my life. So I would, in every single thing that I do, I would always pray about it. So when I joined this cold calling offer, it was really hard. It was harsh because I was not used to people bashing me left and right. And I was like, "I really don't know what to do, Lord. Uh, is this something you want me to do?" And then like not the next day, maybe like the next week, the owner, he was like, "Try to get the rejection first and then start your day. That's when you actually start your day." Because,
Good.
end of the day, no one is going to do this for you. You have to do this. And I kept telling myself that, reminding myself, if someone says no and I put the phone down, the only person who is going to be affected from this is just me. Because end of the day, the offer owner could just fire me and get someone else and still do the dials. I'm the only one who's going to get affected, right? So I just kept telling myself, okay, it's fine to be rejected. It's part of the game. I will I will get better with time. So I just kept doing just that, calling people, getting rejected. And then I always remembered that, quote, every no leads to or gets you closer to a yes, something like that. So there were a few yeses which kept me going. And by the end of 4 months, I was so mentally tough. I was ready to do any sort of goal. I didn't care. I actually spoke to someone who was willing to invest $1 million, literally. And
Wow.
I had no fear. I was just like having a casual chat with the guy because he's just another person, right? Yeah, he's making good money, but that doesn't mean like I should be afraid of him or he's not going to put me down. As long as I'm respectful, he's going to be respectful towards me. So yeah, I think that's where the foundation I had was quite solid, I would say. And I believe as a setter, if you want to make it as a setter, you need to face rejection. You need to face that fear head on. It's not something that goes away ever, but
Yeah.
you can face it with more confidence and not give up. So to anyone who is new to the space, and people always ask me, hey, Gav, like, what do you think is the most important thing? It's like facing rejection head on and saying, hey, I got this. It's just one person. I'm not going to let one call or one person determine how much money I'm going to make or how many people like whose lives I can change.
That part.
So
That part.
one person says no, I would always tell myself, hey, look, I'm trying to help you. If you say no, take me out of the equation. You are the person in the driver's seat. You're saying no to
Mhm.
yourself. You're saying no to your future. You're saying no to your family. You're saying no to yourself. So, dude, I tried helping you. You said no. Cool. On to the next person who needs help.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it.
You understand the importance of your role in the sales process too. And I'm really glad that you talked about God's role in this. I really wish
Yeah.
that, honestly, like, I wish people talked about God's role a lot more, like,
Mhm.
on, like, people who are at a higher level, like millionaires, but then also people playing in the kiddie pool. When I do network with people who are millionaires already in their entrepreneur journey,
Mhm.
and I talk to them privately, I'm like, and they talk about God being part of their journey, but then you look at their content and they never talk about God ever. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, why? I know why. It's because it's not sexy for marketing, and they're worried about, like, not attracting all the people they want. Yeah, I just wish that even at our level, kiddie pool, people talked about God's role a lot more often, because so many sales reps, I know that if they just prayed
Yeah.
for the strength to make it through when someone hangs up on them, they would make so much more money as a setter. And there was something else. I think I forgot it. I need to, like, write things down. I usually write it down, but I don't have paper next to me today. Right. You understand your role really well. You understand that when you're on the phone with somebody, no matter which offer it is that you are setting for, that this is like gold. It's like a gold brick. It's so valuable that if they say no, it's really their loss. It's not your problem. It's not your loss. It's not gonna. You can't let it hurt you, because you gave them the opportunity to
Yeah.
get something great, right? And so you look at your role almost like it's just, it carries more weight and purpose than I think a lot of setters carry the role with. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
I wanted to take a brief break from this amazing conversation. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am. First thing I wanted to talk about is, did you know that 60% of you who listen to the podcast on YouTube are not subscribed? So, first of all, thank you so much for listening and watching. And if you could hit the subscribe button, that would mean the world to me. Secondly, if you're an entrepreneur, high ticket sales rep, or you're just getting into the high ticket sales space, I want to encourage you to join my free school community. This is where you can get access to my sales training for free. And this is where you can also have the opportunity to ask me questions on the live coaching calls I run every week. If you want to learn how to make sales fun and close more deals so you can make life-changing income this year, the link to join for free is in the description.
Let me go to the questions in Facebook so I can make sure people who took the time to actually write in a question do get an answer. Okay. So, how do you manage all of your activity as a setter? So, between DMing and calling and notes and end of day reports, like, how do you organize everything?
I'm not as organized as I wish I could be or wish I should be, but I have kind of like separated these offers into blocks, right? So essentially, I wake up in the morning. Before I do anything, I make sure to read my Bible and pray. That's the first thing, non-negotiable. Unless I do those things, I don't start working. Okay, so that's the first thing. I get my stuff done, the morning chores, get ready, and get into that headspace where I'm ready to dial. I do some vocal exercises. I used to sing, so I still sing, but
Oh
not
my
that much.
gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I do some lip drills to kind of, loosen my jaws and get my voice relaxed, and a little bit of what are those called? Like tongue twisters, I guess. Right? Like Betty bought some butter, the butter was bitter, something like that. So I would do those. I would take 5 minutes to do that. And then when I'm ready, um, my voice sounds pretty rich and like it's ready to have a conversation. So, and then
That's
I get
awesome.
started. So how do I be more organized, or how do I organize myself is I have my team meeting, not team meeting, it's like the daily catch up with my sales manager. I have that. And then for a couple of hours, I do the calling block. I call them, take a little break, and then do the calls again, and then have my lunch. I fast in the morning, by the way. I don't have any food in the morning because eating kind of slows you down, or I don't know why.
Yep. Yep.
So I have my first meal around 1-2 in the afternoon, and then I hit the gym. So I have my meal right before I hit the gym. Also, hitting the gym is like the best thing a sales rep can do, because
Yep.
it's just going to give you so much clarity. It's going to give you that little bit of edge. You don't feel it unless you do it. It's that kind of thing, right? So I hit the gym, and then I come back home. And then, obviously change myself and still do
Yeah.
the European leads, because, with that particular offer, I have to dial Australian leads, European leads, and sometimes a little bit of US leads as well. So I kind of structure my day, depending on which leads I have dial. And then with my other offers, I allocate like a couple of hours and then just organize myself. And I also have, for each offer, I have like a tracking sheet. I think this is very important, because
Yeah.
at first it might not be a big deal, but once your pipeline kind of grows, you need that, right? So I have that pipeline. So whenever I don't have lead style, or, I don't have anyone DM, or my account gets limited, I have a bunch of people I can reach out to and maybe set them. So I'm not going to like sit back and complain, no, I don't have any leads. Well, dude, you got a pipeline full of interested people, go dial them, right? Or else what I would do is, this is funny because with my Australian offer, if someone opts in for a particular thing, but they don't have something else, but I don't have any leads, I would literally call leads like 4 or 5 months old and be like, dude, I saw you, attended this webinar. How's that going for you? Oh, great. Do you actually have this software that we put out, recently? Would you be interested in that? And try to like literally cross-sell them. So it's like a fun game to me. And end of the day, I believe in what I sell. So that really helps with, actually the conviction, the integrity that I have, because I believe that this can actually help people. I've seen the results. I've spoken to the people. I speak to them on a daily basis. They always tell me this is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. That just keeps increasing my integrity and conviction. So yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
do. And I could definitely be more organized, but at the moment, that's how my day basically looks like.
That's beautiful. And I want to highlight a couple things. Okay. The teacher in me, I can't help it. Okay. You have to highlight. Okay. So I want to highlight that a part of the reason why you have so much conviction on the phone is because you keep in touch with the clients that you set or close on the back end, and you make sure they're actually getting the result. Number one, for your own integrity. So, I'm going to stay on this offer. They're getting results. But two, that conviction helps you. If someone hangs up on you, that's your loss, because I know Jeff just, made all this money, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's something that having to like, I'm like a broken record, having to repeat to people whenever they come to me with low conviction. I'm like, well, when was the last time you watched some testimonials or spoke to clients who you closed, or, you know, just refresh your memory as to the transformation the offer is making. So that's a big one right there. And I like that you highlighted how you organize it with different time zones too, because something else, a big piece of advice that I have for setters, even if you're new, is to jump on multiple offers so that way you stay busy and you have more opportunity to make money. And so the best way to do that is to have different time zone offers so that way you don't get stressed out because you have way too many US leads to call or something, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you touched on that. Let me go to another question in the Facebook. What basic principle do you apply to ensure that a prospect is really keen to learn more and actually attend their appointment? Okay, so basically, how do you make sure they actually attend the appointment and close?
That's such a good question. How do I make sure I follow up with them? Say, for example, I book someone for the next day. I send them a message on the same day at night or towards the evening saying, hey, John, just a reminder that you have an appointment at 5 p.m. with Bill. And then on the next day in the morning, I would send them another message and be like, hey, John, just to double confirm, you got a meeting at 5 p.m. today with Bill. Can you confirm that ASAP? If they don't reply, I call them and make sure that they're good to go.
Yeah. That's something a lot of setters don't do, is they're not working together with the closer. Now, this is not representing working together. That was an ESL moment. They make sure they're working together in harmony with the closer, because it's like, yeah, you guys are literally like, it's like two cops, good cop, bad cop, whatever. Yeah. Like, you're working together. This is your lead, you and the closer's lead now. So yeah, really good. Let's go to another question. What daily KPIs do you personally track for your offers? I like that.
So with my Australian offer, it's 120 dials plus, not plus, it's 120 dials all 3 sets a day. I usually do 120 plus, maybe around 130, 135 every day, because I don't want to, just be like, oh, I did my 120, let me go rest now. So I try to do a little bit of extra dials. Sometimes I can't do it because I have too many conversations, and then, obviously, I have maybe like 2 or 3 sets, and then I don't try to hit that 120 and just, crash out or burn myself. I try to reserve the energy for the rest of the day so I can go again the next day, right? So that is just for the Australian offer. And the others, I would say, well, in total, maybe 200 to 300 in between that range, I would say. 200 to 300 dials.
The amount of dials, the amount of sets is like the main KPIs that you look at?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I imagine show rate, because you do make sure they show up.
Yeah.
So that's something that's important to you as well.
Good. My show rate with the Australian offer has been literally like 100%.
That's great. Your show rate for me is 100% as well. So there's that. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. In case anyone's confused, that's for me as well. I wish I had enough leads that I could take him hostage and keep them all to myself, but we'll get there. So there's a mindset question. What is the mindset that you have that helps you to stay consistent even after lots of rejection or if deals don't close for a while?
Again, I think it just goes back to my why. Why am I doing this? I just tell myself, okay, I've had a bad day. Does that mean I'm going to have another bad day? Well, if I don't try, maybe yes. But if I go again, keep the negativity as it just takes like 10-15 minutes to really rinse out the negativity and really be positive again, right? Because there are so many good things that I can be grateful for. I have the food to eat, I have a roof over my head, I have my parents around me, I have my friends. I literally have everything that I need. There is no need to be negative. So one bad doesn't mean that I'm going to have another bad day, right? Unless you want it to be. So if I have a bad day, I just say, okay, I reflect on that day. Actually, I would listen to my calls, see what happened, like what I could have changed. And then the next day I know, hey, this is what's gone wrong. This is something I can improve. And then, I go the next day and try to crush it. If I can't, there's always the other day, right? It's not the end of the world. So you just keep going until you hit your goals. Like if you give up, you will never know. And the biggest risk is not doing anything.
This is true. Can I hit you with some rapid fire questions?
Go for it.
Yeah. So respond with the first thing that comes to mind. Okay. So what are the top three things that every new setter should focus on mastering first?
That's a very good question. Top three things a setter should master first. Fear of rejection is like up there, definitely. Pick up the phone and start dialing. People don't dial enough. I think people should start dialing. And one other thing, pick a good offer, I guess. It could be something as well.
Who inspires you?
My dad. He works like crazy. He does everything that he possibly can to keep the family afloat. And I believe that's where I get this hustle and grind mentality where I have to do absolutely everything I can possibly do till I have, breath in my nostrils to keep going, to never give up, and to make sure everything is going to be okay. So I 100% think he's my inspiration to keep going. Yeah.
That's awesome. If you could sell anything in the world, what would you sell?
I would sell knowledge because knowledge is power.
I was expecting like private jets or something, like, because like those are very high ticket. The commissions would slap on that. Fine, knowledge, yes, make the world a better place, world peace, whatever.
Yeah.
You could have any superpower, what could it be? I think I know what you're gonna say.
Ability to teleport.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. That's really good. That's mine too, because I'm usually late when I go places. We need to talk about the thing, because I put a teaser in my story about, I was like, who wants to learn how you can easily weasel your way into closing as a setter? We have to talk about that. Yeah. So, yes. I always tell people that the easiest way to close if you're brand new to high ticket sales is to start off as a setter and then weasel your way into closing. Can you share the deals that you recently closed on the phone as a setter, and then what gave you the gumption, the audacity to do that?
Well, that's a very good question. And my sales manager, if you're watching this, brother, don't be mad at me, but he wasn't quite happy that I was closing deals rather than doing the sets, because that was what I was supposed to do, right? I was brought on as a setter and they wanted me to do the sets, but instead I was just closing deals on a daily basis. So the guy was like, dude, you need to ramp up your sets.
Wait, he was not happy?
Well, he was not happy in the sense like he wanted me to do the sets. He was okay with me doing the sales, but also he wanted me to ramp up the sets because, my sets burn.
Because he's like, my calendar's empty and you're over here cashing in deals. So what gave you the audacity to decide, I'm just going to close this person when they're on the phone?
Well, I always try to discern whether I should, book them on a set or if I can answer these questions for them, right? So like I mentioned, they watch a webinar and then they, either don't buy or they buy. If they buy, I don't have to call them, obviously, but I call the people who don't buy. So I call them, I'm like, hey, I saw that you watched this webinar. The guy wanted me to reach out to you and see how you were getting on with it. And they would just explain, hey, I just don't have the money, or, it's not the right time. So I'm like, okay, if he doesn't have the money, it's a money objection. If he doesn't have the time, it's a time objection. So we need to really understand what the root cause is. So I would be like, hey, so apart from the money part, do you feel like this program is actually like a good fit for you? Oh yeah, it's just the money. It's just the money. So I just answer any questions they might have, and then at the end I would tell them, hey, like this is what's that called? The cost of inaction, basically. That's what
Yeah.
I use, right? I mean, you can get started in 3 months' time, right? But what about this? Why don't you start today? And if you don't have time, we can put a pause on your subscription or your membership. And then in 3 months' time, when you are ready to get started, reach out to us and we can resume your membership. So now that we have this opportunity for you, you can get it. So in the meantime, you can go through the modules, get yourself ready. And when you are actually ready to get started, you have 3 months worth of content that you went through and you're not brand new to that. So if you're going to start it after 3 months, then you have to spend maybe like another month or two watching the stuff. I just diagnose what their problem is and see if I can actually sell them on the phone. And 9 times out of 10, it's you can sell them. It's just that sometimes I just want just to show them that I want to get the set. I just set them onto another call. But it's pretty much easy once you really understand what they are looking for and you have gained that trust and you speak from that authoritative frame, and you feel like you make them feel like you take care of them or you look after them and you actually do care for them. They're like, oh, that's really nice to hear. And then they actually thank you for that. Like they're like, thank you so much, Gavin.
Yes,
I
they
really
do.
appreciate that. And that like really, really, means a lot to me because I actually try helping them. And then as a byproduct, I make a sale. So like I
Look at
mentioned, it's
that.
always, trying to help
Yeah.
them. And then yeah, I get myself. That's how I do. I wouldn't say it's always the case with any offer, but with this one particularly, they're already like halfway closed. So it's very much not the easiest, but it's compared to any other offer, it's easy.
Yes. And I love how you explain things with all of the nuance. You make my job really easy. So the nuance is like it depends on the offer, right? And how
Yep,
cold or hot the leads are.
100%.
So like if you're dialing leads who are like don't even know who you are, they just saw an ad like this morning, like you probably can't close them on the phone without a Zoom call where you can actually properly pitch. But
Right.
yeah, it's really cool that I've loved seeing it come in when you message me and you're like, just close a 10K, just close an 8K. I'm just like, let's go. Because yeah, it's like it's amazing to see. I'm so happy you came on, Gavin. Thank you so much for coming on. And what time is it for you? Isn't it like the middle of the night?
It's 1:46 a.m. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you for coming on at 1:46 in the morning to share your wisdom with people. I know a lot of new sales reps are going to get a lot out of this, especially people who might live in countries where they feel like they don't have as much opportunity, where they feel like they might get looked over as well for offers. And I think you're going to be a big ray of hope that no, actually, they can achieve their goals. They can make
Yeah.
life-changing income and they can put in high ticket sales. So thank you so much for coming on.
100%. And thank you for having me here. And one last thing I want to say to any new rep that wants to set or close. I'm just another guy in Sri Lanka in a third world country who didn't speak English. Again, this is not even my actual accent. I have like a Sri Lankan accent, by the way. I can speak different accents, just so you know. Uh, maybe for a next
You
episode.
can't just drop a bomb. You've been lying to me this whole time. What? I just thought Sri Lankan sounded British. Like,
No,
and it's funny because when we first got connected and you first started working with me and I was trying to help you get on offers, I told recruiters, I was like, okay, he lives in Sri Lanka, but he sounds British. I would always say that, but he sounds British, just so they wouldn't look you over. So you've been lying to me this whole time. Okay, that's a conversation for another day because I have a meeting coming up, but I can't believe this. I think that's really cool. Oh, something else I wanted to highlight. There's so many other little things I wanted to highlight, but it was just like so much sauce. But it's along these lines, so I'll say it. Like, I wanted to highlight, you mentioned like you did vocal exercises before you jumped on calls.
Mm.
Highly recommend people do this, especially women, if you do speak in your higher and your upper register,
yeah,
because in my day-to-day life with my friends, I actually speak up here, but you will never in coaching, in podcasts, in anything, hear me speak up here,
yeah.
right? And so I would do like these vocal exercises. So on the phone, I sounded like an authority. Okay, so I wanted to highlight that because it's a super hot golden nugget that people need to understand this so they can stop getting hung up on.
Yeah.
Thank you again for coming on. This feels like, when you hang out with your friend, but like you got it when you're a little kid and you have to, it's like it's time to go home, but you don't want to. That's so
Right.
I think we'll be doing more episodes in the future, but
Yeah.
thank you so much. And those of you guys who got to the end, good for you. Put your golden nuggets in the comments. I love to see them. I'm sure Gavin would love to see them too. Inspire the masses. And I will see you guys in the next one.
Sounds good.
See ya.
Peace out, princess. Thank you so much.